This is an iHeart podcast. Guaranteed human.
It is January. Can you believe it? We're actually here. No, well, actually, you can believe it because we're 15 days into January now. Welcome to Do One Thing for 30 minutes every day. I know I have been away from you guys. I've missed you guys so much. It's been a month almost since my last broadcast, and I just want you to know that I have been busy. But before we get into all of the busyness of how I've been busy, one thing I need you to do, in the upper right-hand corner on Apple Podcasts, you'll see 3 dots. You can follow us by clicking onto those 3 dots and hit follow, select follow. That way you will always know when we are bringing a new podcast to you. And I need you guys to follow because I need you to get this information when I get it, when I get inspired to record, put things out there into the universe. You want to know when fresh episodes hit. So please do that for me today. Won't you? Follow along with our podcast, Do One Thing for 30 minutes every day. I'm Delvin. I'm your host. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you for everybody participating and being a part of this podcast. There are numbers that have come across my desk. If you can, just allow me just to share a few things. I've been doing these episodes for 7 months. In 2025. 7 months of podcasting. There have been over 1,049 content minutes recorded, 36 episodes. And that's a lot for me because normally I'm always doing other podcasts and preparing other episodes for other hosts. So I don't get a chance to do my own. But last year I made the commitment that I wanted to do my own podcast. And so I'm thankful that I was able to get those things started. Get everything started. So 36 episodes. Those 36 episodes have reached 38 countries, 179 cities. It's been downloaded over 500 times. I'm so thankful that everyone has downloaded the episodes and have listened to Do One Thing for 30 minutes every day. It is very important for you to listen to the podcast. So yeah, I'm thankful. I'm grateful. And I just want to go over with you what was the most downloaded podcast. It was, drum roll please, 6 months from now was the most downloaded podcast. 6 months from now was the most downloaded podcast. And I'll get back to that whole episode in a minute. But it's a brand new year. It's a brand new year, 2026. We're 15 days into the brand new year, and man, it's a new outlook. It's a new logo. If you go to the website, you'll see a brand new website. You go to the podcast, you'll see brand new podcast cover art. Everything is new. It's all new for this year. We're in the 2nd season now of Do One Thing for 30 minutes every day, and I'm so thankful that that you get to come along this ride with me. Okay? But between December when I left to today, I needed some rest. And so I took the holiday and the week of Christmas, did not really record anything and went through Christmas, went through the next week with New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, took that week off, took the first week of January off. Then I said, I'm gonna take one more week. Took the second week of January off. I really pushed the envelope for rest. I really wanted to just get my mind back together. Christmas was exhausting. Not that it was a bad thing. It's just the fact that, we moved around a lot. I was able to spend time with my wife's family, and they are in different areas of the state of Illinois. So I had to travel to see them. So it was a lot, but I really needed to take that break. I took down the lights, took down the decorations, took everything down. It was exhausting, but the weather was on my side, because if it was what it is now, as far as, weather being in the teens and all of that stuff, they will stay out there. But no, we had great weather for Christmas and New Year's. So the weather was in the 40s and the 50s. So it allowed me to remove the outside decorations. We took down both of the trees upstairs and downstairs, took down all of the decorations. All of that came down. And come January, the house was back to its regular state. So it just took a lot out of me. The holidays did. So I really needed that rest. Tried to catch up. There's some, my wife and I, we both did for the holiday. We sat down and watched episodes of Power. What is it? The second episodes of Power, the second chapter of Power, the third chapter of Power. So we did that over the December-January break, and we're still into the second week of January. The third week of January almost, and we're still watching it. But that's our go-to. That's how we veg out. And one thing I do know is when my wife wants to veg out, she watches a lot of television, because she normally does not watch television like that. So when she does, I'm going to go along for the ride. Now, I don't watch a lot of television during the day, but I find myself sitting down watching it with her, just the episodes of Power before football games come on or whatever. We sneak in an episode or two before we go to bed at night. We're laying in the bed and we're watching episodes of Power. I mean, it's one of the things that brought us together for the holiday. Being able to do things together, because football season, you got bowl season. Normally I am invisible come the playoffs and all of those things that's going on. But we came together to watch those episodes of Power. What was it? Book 2, Power 4, Force. Get to see all of the different episodes that we did not see when they first came out. So that's the thing that I did mostly. But in all of this, I'm trying to get myself to plug back in. I'm trying to get myself to get back on track. So again, reshape the studio just a little bit this time. Put some things up, took some things down, and hopefully this design will stick around for a little while. So I've been busy with that, but I want to tell you about one of the things that allowed me to plug back in. And it was not until last week, when the Chicago Bears were winning their games, their football playoff games, and there was a radio station that I listened to religiously here in Chicago called ESPN 1000, ESPN Chicago. I listened to them religiously. Whatever they talk about as far as sports is concerned, I dialed in. And I tune in and I listen. Even while I'm down here in the studio and I'm doing some things, I would turn that station on to listen to what's going on. When I'm making dinner, I turn that station on and I listen to the personalities on that radio station. And it was particularly one radio host or two radio hosts that I would listen to. The name Waddle and Sylvie on ESPN Chicago. Tom Waddle, former Chicago Bear wide receiver. Mark Silverman, longtime Chicago radio journalist and sports journalist and all of that. They've been doing their show for 20 years. For 20 years, they've been together doing the show, and it's like clockwork for them. And I know the feeling because when I was in talk radio, I know the rhythms and all of that stuff as far as doing radio is concerned. However, I don't venture out into going to places where people are, especially where radio stations are. Lots of people. I don't want to be involved. It's a flu season. Everybody's coming down with something. I don't want to be around you if you're sneezing. If I see that your nose is runny, I'm going the other way. I don't want nothing to do with you. But Waddle and Sylvie did their radio show for the Bears weekend at 115 Bourbon Street, which is literally within 5 minutes from where I live. So I made the decision, I'm going to go to where they are, which is literally 5 minutes, if that, away from me. I didn't have to go far. I didn't have to, suffer through traffic or anything. I could have walked if I wanted to. I think that's how good the weather was that day. So I went over to where they were. And lo and behold, that radio show, those two individuals got me back excited about radio again. They didn't do it intentionally, or maybe they did do it intentionally. Because when I got there, when I got up to them, first of all, I sat way in the back of the sports bar. Had me a beer and a burger, and I was just sitting in the back in the corner. Nobody knew I was there unless the servers came to me and they took care of me. But I didn't want to be in the reserve section or be in a place where they could see me. But it wasn't until I sat at the table and I looked around to see exactly what their setup was and how they made that thing work. And I remember all of that because that's how I used to do it. I used to put things together. Web camera, I saw what they was using for their, the whole setup, audio setup, talking to the studio back and forth, doing the commercials and everything, doing the live reads, all of the stuff. I saw it for myself and I got back in touch with my radio side. Isn't that crazy? I got back in touch with my radio side and I said to myself, I want to get back into this. I know it's getting good, but I need you to take a minute to listen to these important announcements that I have for you right now. So I went to them. I was getting ready to go because it wasn't until they were going on a commercial break, and during the commercial breaks, they would get up and they would socialize with a lot of the people who were around, and then they had to hurry back up to the front to the table when it was time to go back on the air. And that's the one thing that, you don't really appreciate the speed of radio until you actually see it. And for someone who's listening, they would never pay attention to stuff like that. But when you get a view of it for yourself, wow, this is going fast. Everything, click, click, boom, 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 zip, zip, zip. So I saw all of that. But while they was on the commercial break, Tom Waddle went for a bathroom break. Now, I guess where I was sitting way in the back, Tom Waddle was coming my way to get to the washrooms. So after he came, I was not going to stop him before he went to the bathroom. That's a recipe for disaster right there. What I wanted to do was wait until afterwards. And when he came out, people were saw him. They were trying to gather around him to take pictures and everything. But Tom came out, washed his hands, but there were no towels to dry his hands with. And so even while he was trying his best to wipe his hands on his jeans to dry his hand, he was still taking pictures with people with wet hands. So the server set me up well with a nice tray of everything: paper towels, napkins, all of that stuff. I had a lot of napkins. So I took my napkins and I walked to Tom and I gave them to Tom. And Tom right away, "Oh man, thanks a lot for this. I really appreciate this." Because, in my line of work, you got to study who's around you. You got to be able to see who it is and what they need. Meet the need before they ask you for it. I learned that a long time ago. You step up and you meet the need before they ask you. So I came up there. I had what he needed: a couple of paper towels to wipe his hands. And these were big, giant paper towels. So I gave him a couple. They did the job. But immediately he stopped what he was doing to tell me thank you. And, I don't, part of the thing for me, I've been around celebrities. I've been around people who are notable people in this city, in the sports, politics, and all of that stuff. I don't take pictures with them. And my wife really frustrated over that whole thing, because when I tell her I don't take pictures with celebrities, she's like, "Well, how do you mark the moment?" I'm present in the moment. That's how I mark it. I'm different. I'm sorry. That's just what I do. But he asked for a picture, and I was like, "No, I'm good." But I will tell you this, Tom. What you did today, you brought me out of myself. You brought me out of who I thought I needed to be in my moment. I said, "What are you talking about? What do you mean?" Listen, I've been in radio for a long time. And when the station I was with burned me, I completely left the thought of radio. But what got me back involved in it again was listening to you guys, listening to your station. And he was like, "Oh wow, man, that's awesome. That's great." And I just walked away. But it was at that moment, I didn't want anything. I wasn't looking for him to campaign for anything like that. But I was like, I just really appreciate you. Motivated me enough to get here to be able to see this and reimagine myself back into this again. And then I walked away, got in my car, and I left. Because I was there for a while, but there was a lot of people there, a lot of people. And I'm coming from a place, when I told my wife, I'm coming from a place where if the radio station I was with was out in the streets, be lucky if there were 10, 15 people there. This radio station being a top 5 radio station there, that place was packed. Jam-packed. You could feel it. The attitude was different. And I got to see for myself how different things are. So I said, I'm going to take this moment and appreciate it and get myself back into the swing and the speed of radio. I had to leave it for a little while. But now I'm working my way back. So I take that moment as a win for me. I take that time as, hey, I'm coming out of what I used to think and believe. What last year was has to be different to what this year will be. So I came out. and I went to an outing, and I had myself a good time, because normally I don't do those things. Normally I just don't get away and have a beer and a burger. That just wasn't part of who I am. But now, yeah, it is. So do one thing for 30 minutes every day. This is the podcast where you get an inside track on what's going on in my mind, and what's going on in my mind right now, today. Gotta do things different. What happened in 2025 was 2025, but this is so 2026, which means that you gotta do things different. You gotta do things different. While I was gone, while I was away, one day that I did not think was a day, we came across it, and it kind of took me by surprise. It wasn't last Friday. Was it last Friday? Let me look at the calendar to make sure. What day was that? Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. And it just so happened to be on the day that I went out to go see them at this radio outing. Okay, last Friday, the day I went out. That's crazy. It was National Quitters Day. National Quitters Day. And what is National Quitters Day? It marks the day when many people abandon their New Year's resolutions due to fading motivation. Wow. So people set the resolution, and then the resolution dies, or the motivation behind following through with it dies 2 weeks later. So last Friday was National Quitters Day. Just so happened to be the day that I got myself motivated about radio again. So guess what? I'm not quitting. I'm not quitting. Different. This year is different. So if you had to do one thing for 30 minutes every day, get motivated. What motivates you? What gets you pumped up? What gets your heart racing? What gets you what wakes you up at night and say, you know what? Plan on doing this here. Work on this just a little while. What is that thing? Motivate yourself to do different this year. Don't be the quitter. So many people quit last week. Don't be that person. Get back on the horse. Do it again. Got to take another commercial break, but when we come back, we'll wrap it up. So if you love me, you'll listen. Do it again. And I'm saying all of this here because remember when I talked about the most downloaded podcast? Was a podcast I did back in October called 6 Months From Now. And I had to listen to it again just to make sure that I was on the same page. I said back then in October that 6 months from now, you're either going to have 6 months of progress or 6 months of excuses. We're at the halfway point today of that podcast, which was 3 months ago. And we got 3 more months left. So far, do you have 3 months of progress or 3 months of excuses? We gotta get back on it. We gotta stay motivated. So here I am at the halfway point to check in with you. Where are we? What are we doing? 6 months from now, which means literally 3 months from now, we should be at where we should be. For lack of a better word, we should be where we should be. 3 months from now. We got 3 months left. We can't go International Quitters Day and quit. This is too important. Me staying away from radio I built my life on this. I put myself on the line. I bet on me. I can't let that slide. You cannot let this slide. So we have to get ourselves to a point where we are being productive. So have you been productive? Still got time to change it. If you haven't, still got time. Quitter's Day was last week. Don't quit. And if you thought about quitting, don't quit. Just because it didn't work out the first 2 weeks, now we're in the third week of the year, you gotta stay with it. You gotta stick with it. I didn't do all of what I'm doing to quit it. I have to stick with it. So I'm looking for people who can actually stick with me. You got your plans, I got my plans. You got your goals, I got my goals. Let's meet them. Let's reach them. We got 3 more months left. We got 3 months left. We gotta do this. Do one thing for 30 minutes every day. Motivate yourself. Get back on the horse. I'm so glad that I took that time off because now I get to talk to you. And I am extremely pumped to talk to you. Let's get back on the horse. You will get content from me. I promise you, you will. Because I took all of that time. I took those, 2 weeks off, 2.5 weeks off, almost 3 weeks off just to make sure that I was rested enough to hit it. I got 3 months left to get where I need to get, to go where I need to go. And guess what? We're going to get there together. Stick with me. We're going to get there together. Do one thing for 30 minutes every day. That's the podcast. I'm your host, Delvin. If you get a chance, I need you to subscribe to the podcast. Check out the podcast. The website is onefor30.com. 1, the number 1, the word 4, FOR, the number 3030.com. All of the episodes of the podcasts are there. And I need you to check those out. Okay? Make sure that you subscribe, follow along. If you're watching us via YouTube, subscribe to the channel of the Genius Media Group. You will get content off of YouTube. You will get content on Apple Podcasts and on iHeartRadio. Subscribe and follow along. I'm telling you now, you got to do things different. Make sure that your ammunition has enough motivating factors so that you can make this the best year yet for you. I'm Delvin. I'm your host. And I will talk to you next time. Here, right here. Do one thing for 30 minutes every day. Before you go, tap subscribe. Every week, Do One Thing for 30 Minutes Every Day brings you stories, tools, and real life reminders that growth doesn't take perfection, just 30 minutes of intention. So lock in with me.
This is an iHeart podcast. Guaranteed Human.